there, my lovelies, and welcome to my BookTube channel, The Sassy Library Fox. My name is V, and today we're already going for my November to be read. The end of the year is pretty close, so I had to think very long and hard about which kind of books I wanted to read near the ending. I only have 2 months left to decide on my to-be reads, and those 2 months better count. So I decided to read books that are actually on my to-be read list. I know, shocker. Really very surprising, because I'm such a mood reader. But actually this time around, those books fit my mood. So yeah, I guess that's perfect, and we'll just go with it. And I will talk about the 2 books I want to read in November. I got my coffee at the ready, I got some cheat sheets. I also got the books I want to read, and yeah, let's just go for this. Take a sip and start talking about the books I want to read in November. And the first book I want to read in November is, I'm gonna hold it into the cam here, The Boyfriend by Freida McFadden. And I've been dying to read that one for ages. I think it might actually be my first Freida McFadden book. I never read one of her books before, so I always see them at the library. A lot of people talk about those books. So many seem to enjoy Freida McFadden's books, but I can't for the life of me remember ever reading one of those books. So last year I decided to put The Boyfriend on my, I think it's my 2025 reading list. And I found this one at the library recently. I'm currently in the mood for spooky reads. Might have gone a little bit overboard with the Halloween decorations in the background. I'm recording this in October, so you still got the Halloween decorations. Anyway, this one sounds great. It is a thriller. I rarely read in the genre of thrillers, but from what I gathered from the blurb, this sounds exactly like the kind of book I might enjoy. It's basically about a woman named Sydney Shaw, and she has very bad luck when it comes to men. All her relationships end pretty badly. The last one wasn't any better, as it seems. Her dates are horrible, to say it like that, to put it like that. And she is kind of fed up with all the men in the world. But then one day she gets to know her new boyfriend, and her boyfriend is the perfect guy. He is working as a doctor at the local hospital. He is kind, he is generous, he is perfect. Well, until Sydney discovers that there is a serial killer on the loose who always lures in his victims and plays the perfect boyfriend before he kills them. So now she gets suspicious because, of course, she couldn't be that lucky that her boyfriend is really that perfect. And she also feels kind of watched by someone. So yeah, I'm very curious where this story is going to lead. It sounds like a nightmare. But I'm pretty pumped for this one. I only heard really good reviews about this. I think I didn't really read a single bad one. All my friends on Goodreads seem to have loved that one. So yeah. Also, it's a thriller. It's a thriller I can live with. Yeah. It's nothing about children or the death of kids, so that's better to read at least. And yeah, I'm curious about this one, and if Sydney will turn out to be correct or not. for her sake, I hope she isn't correct. But then again, what is it doing to a relationship if you kind of suspect your boyfriend to be a serial killer? Yeah, not the best circumstances to go for a lifelong relationship. Anyway, let's not dwell on this. This is the first book I want to read in November, and the second book I want to read, which I'm also so pumped for, because I put it on my to-be read list last year when I heard that it was going to be a thing, and then the title even changed, I think, and one book turned into two. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just going to hold it into the cam. It's The Survivor Wants to Die at the End. And if you are familiar with Adam Silvera, you know that his books always pack quite a punch. I read the other two books already, and the two main characters in this one already had a cameo in the other book, I think in the prequel to the series. So yeah, I'm very curious about this book because it's about two boys, once again, and one of them is Paz, and the other one, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, is Alano. I honestly don't know if I'm pronouncing those names correctly, but yeah, Alano and Paz meet. Paz or Paz, I think I'll just go with Paz. Well, Paz and Alano meet under very interesting circumstances because Paz has been waiting for his deathcast call for a very long time. Each day he expects to get that call, but he never does, which kind of causes him to have suicidal thoughts. And he is about to prove deathcast wrong when he meets Alano, who apparently saves his life. And those boys hit it off. Alano is the son of the founder of the Deathcast program. And while Paz is never called from Deathcast, Alano lives with a constant threat of an organization that wants to shut down the Deathcast system. So his life is actually in danger, and Alano is always expecting to get a call from them. Because being the son of the person who built this sort of empire is a really dangerous thing. Yeah, those two meet, and of course they are developing some feelings. I'm very curious about this one because in the other two books we always had a timeline and one day, because once you get the call from Deathcast, you have about a day to get your things in order and to just say goodbye to your loved ones. So the other two books played in the time span of a day. With those two here, there is the possibility that it might take longer than just a day, which I personally love because I always wanted more than just one day for those characters. And apparently we are going to get it here because, as I already said, Paz never got the call and Alano still didn't get it either, so yeah. There might be a real possibility for those two boys to truly connect for more than a day, and I'm pumped for this. Also, I hope none of them actually dies this time around. Because with the first to die at the end and the other book, those endings were always shocking, even though you kind of expected them to be like that. I don't know how to put it, but those books, they hit so hard. And quite honestly, it's a huge book. I'm very curious what is going to be written in here. There is a second book. I just found it out before I started to record this video that there is going to be a second book. And yeah, very curious about Paz and Alano's story. And I'm pretty certain Adam Silvera is going to rip out my heart once again. He always succeeds in doing this with those books. Okay, so those are the two books I wanted to read in November. One of them is fairly small, the other is huge. So I hope I will be able to read them both next month. Yeah, I would love to hear which kind of books you decided on reading until the end of the year. We only got 2 months left, so you better choose wisely. And yeah, I guess that's it. We're already at the ending of my video and there's nothing left to say except of take care, stay healthy and safe, and see you around the next time. Bye!